360 investigation on godly discipline. We've been looking into a network of Christian reform schools that cater to fundamentalist Baptist churches. Now, these group homes for so-called troubled teens can be traced back to Texas radio evangelist Lester Roloff, who founded the Rebecca Home for Girls back in 1967. You may have heard of this. He used a girls singing group called the Honeybee Quartet to promote the home.
The Lord I know ruleth o'er everything, amen, and all of my worry is vain.
And I'm living by faith,
yes, living by faith in Jesus above.
in Jesus above.
Well, despite the marketing pitch, Roloff's Homes for Girls faced multiple allegations of abuse over the years, and now, decades later, another home that grew out of that same tradition is facing some similar allegations. Here's Gary Tuckman.
I'm about to meet a man who I know doesn't want to talk to me.
My name's Gary Tuckman with CNN.
We know that because Don Williams and his father Ron had already told us in an email they would not comment about abuse that has allegedly happened for many years on the secluded property in the northern Indiana town of Winona Lake. The Hephzibah House is a self-described fundamentalist Baptist boarding school and church for adolescent girls. The allegations are so disturbing, we felt we needed a face-to-face meeting with the father or the son in charge. We found the son in a parking lot.
We've had a lot of people complain that they've been physically, emotionally, mentally abused at your house. Can you give us a comment about that?
Well, I would rather not.
Our conversation did not end there. But first, let us introduce you to Susan Grady, who is now 45. But spent 2.5 years there, starting when she was 15.
It was going to be gardening and crafts and singing and just a chance to heal.
So that's what your parents thought this school was going to be?
That's right.
And was that in any way correct?
No. No. And I knew that the minute the door shut behind me.
On her first day in this house, which was the facility used back then, Susan says she was accused of having a bad attitude while cleaning the ceiling. So 2 staff women grabbed her, and Don Williams' father administered what she said was known as godly discipline.
He just bodily manhandled me to the floor, and he hit me with the board as hard as he could. He's a very big man, and I was shocked. I'd been paddled my whole life. I'd never been hit like that.
Michelle Dowling is 20 years old. She just got out of Hephzibah House a few years ago. Her parents thought the strict religious curriculum would make her a better Baptist.
They told me that, it would be good for me and I'd make good life-changing decisions.
Michelle was only 12 and brand new in the house when she says 2 staff women told her to take off her clothes and forced her into a closet where a man would give what Hephzibah House claims is a medical examination.
They held both my legs and both of my arms down and let him do this to me. He stuck a speculum inside of me, and I was scared. I was screaming, and I didn't want him to touch me, and there was nothing I could do.
Both women talk about being forced to eat a lot of food, sometimes not being given any food, being forced to drink a lot of water. Susan says 28 girls shared 3 bedrooms on the upper floor of this house. There was 1 toilet, but
if I stood up to go to the bathroom, no, you can only go to the bathroom when you're told you can go to the bathroom.
These were the girls you were with?
Right.
What would happen if you go to the bathroom without asking
You would
permission?
be paddled, yeah.
I would wet the bed every single night I was there. They'd make like a spectacle of you, like you were this horrible person for doing this. Ended up having to wear pull-ups every night. Would watch me put it on every night, and then they'd make me show it to them when I would take it off in the morning.
It's been open a long time. Lots of people complained about getting beaten, emotionally tormented, mentally tormented, all in the name of religion. And there's a lot of us who are very religious who don't believe in hitting people and tormenting them and having them wear diapers and making them drink and making them eat things they don't want to do, and I want to know why you do that.
I prefer not to decline, sir.
But why can't you comment if you believe in what you do? This is your chance to tell our viewers.
I understand that, but I prefer not to.
But tell me, if you can tell me why, I'm just asking you very respectfully, why don't you want to tell us?
Well, I'm respectfully declining.
Don Williams is also the pastor at the church on the Hephzibah House grounds. A former churchgoer gave CNN a CD sold by the church, in which Williams is apparently preaching his views about who's to blame when a male whistles at a female.
If you girls are walking down the sidewalk and some fellas drive by and they whistle, you better stop and think about that. What drew that whistle? Was it the way I was walking? Or maybe the way I was dressed or whatever? Did I do something to defraud those men?
Hephzibah's website features innocuous pictures of girls who have attended and claims there are no spankings or any out-of-the-ordinary punishments. This facility has been around for about 4 decades. It seems to be a thriving enterprise. As you can see, the people in charge don't particularly want to answer my questions. But we're not alone. They don't really answer to the government either. In Indiana, group homes operated by churches and religious ministries are exempt from licensure. So nobody in the government even knows what's going on behind the closed doors. The women say their parents also had no idea what was going on there.
In the 15 months that you were in this house, how many times did you leave the grounds to go somewhere else?
Never.
Zero.
Zero.
The Indiana governor's office says there's nothing it can do. The Attorney General's office says it doesn't have jurisdiction. The same thing with the Indiana Department of Education. Notably, though, the Indiana Department of Child Services says it could investigate, providing it was a current complaint and not from someone who already walked out the door. But we've talked to more than a dozen women who say they were victimized at Hephzibah House, and they say they could never make any private phone calls or send uncensored letters while on the inside. Hephzibah House is not the only facility of its kind. Across the country, victim advocates say there are an unknown but large number of similar programs.
I have nightmares about it all the time. Like very vivid dreams, like I'm trapped inside of this house again and I can't get out, and that's like the only thing I want is to run out a door, and for some reason I can't.
I think I fantasized about suicide those first years out.
We wanted to give Williams one last chance to answer the allegations.
Is it true or is it not? It's either a yes or no question.
It's not true.
So they're lying to us.
I'm not, see, that's where you're trying to get me back into a corner. It's their word against mine.
We were not permitted to take video on Hephzibah House property, but we did walk up the front steps and ring the bell. We saw a girl hustle back inside the home. We saw girls through the windows, but nobody would answer the